And let me just say, I always say that, my neighborhood or my county is the molecule. If the body's made up of molecules, and to understand a body, you need to understand a molecule. And it's the same with the global economy. Your county or your neighborhood is the molecule, and the planet is the body. And if you don't understand your local economy, it is absolutely impossible to understand the global economy. And it's funny because there's a saying that all politics are local. Well, all economics are local. If you look at America, America's 3,100 counties, and to understand America's economy, you have to understand it bottom up, one county at a time. So it's funny, we did a curriculum I wrote a curriculum in the 90s called Economics 101. It's up on our website. And it designs a curriculum that teaches children about the economy just by helping them walk around and understand their local economy. One of the things you'll find in America is that many, many of us have never learned how our economy works, and we are completely disassociated from the financial ecosystem and the economic ecosystem around us. And we literally, part of that is we don't understand the physical geography and the natural resources around us. We don't understand the history of the resources and the culture in our place. And part of it is that disassociates us from being able to relate our living systems, whether it's our environment or our families or ourselves, to our financial system. It literally disconnects and makes it impossible for us, for example, to look at the stock market or the bond market or where our investments are and see how it connects right down to the world around us. And it's that disassociation that I think makes many people feel like they're powerless, including powerless to understand how their own money works. If you can take personal responsibility to learn about and connect what you do and what you need to how the economy works locally, then you will start to have a very powerful relationship with how the economy works more broadly than that. Yeah, when I worked in the government, people started to lobby me. So I had the home builders lobbying me, and I had the real estate brokers lobbying me, and I had the mortgage bankers lobbying me. And after about a month, I started to get this really free-floating case of, something was terribly wrong. I couldn't figure out what it was. And I realized, everybody's lobbying me to take an action that will cause their stock to go up. So we have an entire society organized to engineer the federal resources to make the Dow Jones Index go up. But no one cared about people. No one cared, they're just trying to make the stocks go up. And so I came up with something called the popsicle index, and let me explain what that is. The popsicle index is the percent of people who believe a child can go to the nearest place to buy a popsicle and come home alone safely. So let me say it again. It's the percentage of people in a place who believe a child can leave their home, go to the nearest place to buy a popsicle, and come home alone safely. So when I was a little girl, I grew up in West Philadelphia, the popsicle index was 100%. It was unthinkable that a child couldn't run up to Spruce Street, buy a comic book, play the pins, get a popsicle, and come home alone by themselves safely. Now, when I was a little girl, the Dow Jones was 150. So the Dow Jones has gone up, many thousands of multiples, but the popsicle index throughout America has gone down, down, down. So if you talk to children or parents in a community about where the popsicle index is, it's very hard to find a place where anybody thinks it's 100%. And you'll find many communities where the children will tell you it's less than 10%. So as we've centralized the economy, the Dow Jones has gone up, but the popsicle index has gone down. And if you look at the federal budget, it's because more and more of our governmental resources have been engineered to get the Dow Jones to go up, and do so in a way which makes the popsicle index go down. So we have built centralized corporate wealth in a way that's been harmful to people and to communities. And one of the things we want to do when we consider re-engineering the federal budget is to realign the money so in fact the popsicle index and the Dow Jones become friends. So what we want is we're looking for re-optimizing in a way that the Dow Jones and the popsicle index help each other go up instead of having a win-lose relationship. So right now we have a win-lose relationship between people and money, and we want to turn that around. So it's a win-win relationship. The re-engineering of the federal budget is at the very heart of it, but that fundamental re-engineering comes down to each place. How do we change our behavior and our economy? How do we integrate new technology so the wealth of place increases as the wealth of enterprise increase? Right, but the gross domestic product is simply an aggregation of what's going on in 3,100 counties, one county at a time. And it's just like a body. A body cannot have physical integrity unless a molecule is healthy. So a body is healthy because the molecules are healthy. You know, if the body is toxic, you're going to have to detoxify one molecule at a time. And that's why every 4 years I lose my state of amusement. And I lose my state of amusement because the entire country spends billions of dollars and loses its mind over a presidential election while they ignore the local election. And one of the reasons the pro-centralization team can control the economy in every county is while we're paying attention to the media food fest of the presidential election, we're letting the wrong people get elected, and we're not supporting the right people trying to run the money and the rules clean in our municipality. So every 4 years, I try and persuade everybody to stop paying attention to the presidential election and pay attention to their local election. And every 4 years, I fail completely, but I never give up.